Hey, what's going on, y'all? And welcome back. It's another day, another beginning of the week, man, and we going strong. Um, y'all already know before we get started, man. Make sure to share, and subscribe to the channel because ultimately it helps the channel grow. And hey, man, what y'all think about my fro, my hair, man? You know, it's not braided today, or I don't have a hat on. So this is what y'all get today. I wanted to do something different. Felt like I was being cool. Anyways, hey man, the markets was relatively slow, considering, how it's been kind of lately. But it was definitely some opportunity, and might still have some opportunities that are, kind of glaring up. But let's talk about it. I definitely was a player, took some trades, as well. One thing that I was looking for this morning was this area right here that I have marked off. That was kind of my line in the sand. If we could break below that area, then I was looking, at shorts today. If we continue to hold this area, I was going long, which is what we did. And I got long, and I literally just took it to the next level. So I took this trade here, at the open, and I literally took it all the way up here. And that's where I got out. And I was pretty much done with ES. But as you can see, it has continued to go up. It continued to go up, came back, retested this level, and then pushed back up to our next level here, and then still broke above and got above 5,700. But now it's just been kind of chopping around in this area. So what would I be looking for? I mean, I would love for it to come on up here and test this area. Uh, and then see what it does. If it holds there, then look for a short back down to this area. But the better trade for me is to go and push down here, and then be able to hold here and get long. Um, that's what I would be looking for if I was still continuing to trade. So I would be patient. It's 318, so I don't know, if we'll see it today or not. Like I said, it's the market has been moving relatively slow. It's starting to look like, normal pre, Trump getting into the office. So it's starting to slow down, and those big, huge moves are starting to, kind of come back, and we're getting into this realistic range, per se, which isn't a bad thing. There's still money to be made. It's just we have to temper our expectations, when it comes to the trade sizes that, we were definitely hitting, especially for a few weeks there. Let's go into NQ. NQ was literally the same thing. So I was looking right up in here. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Uh, so I was looking right in this area, and I was looking for us to be able to hold this area, and then get long, and we did, and we pushed right on up. I scaled out. So what I did with NQ, I scaled out at this level, and then I fully took profit at this level up here, and that was it. And I was done with NQ as well. That was the only trade that I took. What would I be kind of looking for? Now, once again, this level I'll be looking, which is literally the high, and it looked like it's kind of rejected, but I'll be looking for it to kind of retest here, and then looking for a short. Um, and then also, you know, in this area, I would kind of be looking for a retest here. And if we held, I would get long. But like I said, I'm not trading for the rest of the day. I'm done. And, we're at 320 now. So I wouldn't even do anything. But for me to start to look, a little bit more bearish, I would need us to break here and hold. This is when I would be totally looking for shorts once we break here, because then we got a nice little area that we can hit a nice, sweet little long short too as well too. So that's what I would be looking for. And like I said, we're in the evening, so I wouldn't kind of expect any of this to transpire until overnight or tomorrow. So that's it there. Oil, oil had a nice trade, man. I can't take credit. I didn't take it. I was looking and I was going to, but all the products that I trade had my attention. But right here is where I definitely would have took this trade and got a long in. I was waiting for this area, and I actually had it on the charts, but I had removed it because it was taking forever, and I just didn't know which way it was going. So um, I just said forget it. And but definitely would have been a nice trade to take. Good little winner there. Um, we still have not broken this previous level. We made an overnight high here, right at 57.70, but we haven't broke a previous level. So I'll be um, making a note of that one as we speak as well too. But that was pretty much it, that I saw. Once again, like I said, it's been kind of a little bit slow. And y'all know me when it comes to oil, I look for the bigger movers. So this was the only thing that was tempting for me to take. Um, Other than that, as y'all can see, we just kind of been chopping around. And so I did not take that trade. And so, I mean, is what it is. You win some, you lose some, you miss some, you make some, right? Let's go on over to gold. So, the same thing for gold. What I was looking at was this level right here. And it took forever. It literally took forever. I wasn't in this trade. Well, actually I was in here at this time frame. I was in the trade. And then it pushed up here. I took a scale, but I actually held the trade. I took one scale, and it came here, it tested, and then when it pushed up and got up to here again, I actually left, went to the gym, and said, you know what, I'm going to break even. If it comes back and stops the rest of it out, cool. I had already hit my first scale. It was a free trade in my eyes. And then I came back, and we literally took out my target, which was here. This was my target right here. So ended up being, a sweet trade, sweet finisher. Um, because ultimately I would have, I would just be getting out of this trade. But if I would have been watching, this is where my target more than likely would have been, to this next level, which we're playing around at it now. But with that, I was like, I would hate for it to, come here and then turn around and go back against me. So I was like, okay, we're gonna go to break even. We'll push our target, the final target here. So it hit. That was it for me. Those were the only trades I took, and that was it. Absolutely, that was absolutely it. So now what would I do? I would just go in for each what we talked about, and then I would just mark the highs and the lows on the charts. Um, and so, especially on some of these, it looks like more than likely right now, anyways, the only thing I would feel comfortable putting on is the lows because we might still take out the highs. So we'll see how this goes. So yeah, and that's 1996. I'm still there. So down here with the lows. Uh-huh. Where are we at? Because that's the high right there. And then, so we made a lower low. So what I would do here, since it's just a little bit lower, I would just move this here. No need to make another line. All right. So now let's talk about it. Let's talk about what the subject of this live is. So we'll talk about this for a little bit. Are prop firms a scam? So this was a question that came because, I talk about, trading, in prop firm, Apex. Is it a scam? Well, first thing I need people to understand when it comes to prop firms is that it is not meant for you to be successful. It's not. It's not meant for you to be successful. The whole model and the makeup of it is for people to, fail and keep resetting, keep resetting, keep resetting, and keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Trust me, they make more money on that side of the fence than they do of actual traders that are profitable and making money. So you got to understand that. That's the first thing. It's not meant for you to be successful trading at prop firms. Just not. Which is why, I mean, a lot of them, think about it, a lot of them don't really give you help. They don't do, give you extra, they don't give you coaching or any sessions or, any types of training. They expect you to come in, do what you do. If you happen to be successful, great. If you're not, hopefully you stay around and keep trying until eventually you do it. But most people that do it, I'm pretty sure blow accounts, most of the time, or have blown a few accounts, have, a struggle of becoming, funded. And it's all by design. And you have to know that. So once you realize that and know that, you have to play within their rules and regulations, right? Are they easy? No, but trading isn't easy. So you have to make sure that you understand all their rules and regulations on how to be funded. It's not about running it up. They just look, for you to be successful in prop firms, you really got to get your money and get out. You can't be like, okay, I'm finna try to get 10K or, go for 10, go for 20, go for 30. Most of them, even if you do, like, that's a role, that's like breaking a rule. So they're not looking for you to run it up. So you have to understand that it's really just being consistent, base hitting all day. That's the only way you're really going to be successful in prop firms, is by base hitting every day. Think about this. They give you a 300K account, 300K account, 300K account, right? Up to 300K anyways. And so in your mind, if you were leveraging that, what would you typically leverage in a trade? Maybe typically 1 to 5%, kind of depending. Well, let's be clear. If that's what you're doing, you're going to lose. Like, unless you built up a buffer, you're going to struggle. You're going to have to start from the bottom and act like it's zero. I don't care what level account you're on. You're going to have to act like it's zero. And you're going to have to be a money risk manager. You're going to have to become that. I know that with Apex, right? I think in the minis, you can trade, I think it's like something stupid, up to 35 contracts, I think. 30 something. Think about that. 30 something contracts you can trade. If you put all 30 contracts, even if you lost 3 points, man, like what? That's crazy. They're not looking for someone that's actually going to leverage that. To be honest, I don't even know why they even give you that option to use that many contracts in, a 300K. What you have to figure out is what you can consistently do while if you lose, right? So if you're able to leverage, so looking at it like, okay, I want to leverage 1,500, my goal is to make 3,500. You're going to have to consistently be on that wave in those rules of staying to that. Because if not, oh yeah, they got guidelines. You can't make a crazy amount and you can't lose. So give you an example. I know a person that has, 50K in their funded account. And guess what? So in Apex, if you don't know, you have to trade for 8 days. I know the 300K account because that's what I have. And I know that you have to make $500, 5 out of the 8 days. And then, if you lose, if you lose 3, out of the 8 days, that's totally fine. But you can't lose a crazy amount either. So I know a guy that literally was trading, and he was in a funded account, wanting to take money out, traded 7 days straight, all great days, solid days. On the 8th day, he took a trade. He traded, and it was a horrible day, terrible day, he said. And so, of course, he went to request the payout, and they denied him, right? They denied him, said that he gambled because of how much money he lost. It wasn't comparable to how much money he was making, right? So he was not able to make a withdrawal. I need you to understand that. Like, so in your mind, it's like, but I have 50K in this account. And just because I had one bad day and I kind of got out of hand, which for most people, I don't know anyone that can't say that doesn't happen to. He wasn't able to withdraw. So understanding that you have to stay within their system and play by their rules is what's going to help. Some people cannot play by their rules. It just doesn't click. It's just not, good for them. And so if that's not you, then you're going to have to figure out another way. Um, it's a good thing because most people do not have to leverage your money. Now you do have to pay for, the initial valuation. And if you fail, then you're going to have to pay the reset, and then keep paying, monthly, whatever the account size is, if you're not able to pass. That's why you should definitely practice and sim. Make sure that you have, your system in place of trading and not just be winging it. You should do all of those things first before you start an evaluation, before you pay. That's my advice. So that way you can, pass and stay, profitable and stick to your system and your rules. I was one of those that jumped out the gate like, oh, let me try it. And realized like, whoa, this is not easy. This is extremely hard. And stand on your plan. Of course, when you're green, it becomes real hard. And then also the mental, especially with the evaluation process, is, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And I made a mistake, before, and I blew a count. I was up $4,000 one day, up $4,000. And so this was in the evaluation account. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm up $4,000. I'm pocketing $4,000. I'm gonna keep going. If I miss a trade, then I'm gonna stop. But I'm up $4,000. Took another trade, got up more. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm banking this 4K. I'm walking away with 4K. But I'm in evaluation, so I want to push it. I want to go. I'm having a great day. And I got up to 95, I think 9,500, right? But in my mind, I'm just playing with, borrowed time. Like it's not a big deal. I'm gonna keep going, as long as I can. And but if I come back to 4K, I'm done. But I didn't realize the trail stop. That no, sir, you can't do that, right? You made 4K, and then now you've made 95. You can't continue to scale back, right? And actually, I think it was even more than that, because it's $7,000. I think it is, or yeah, it's $7,000 on a 300K account. So I had more. I had about So I had to have about 11, 5. Now, mind you, I could have just walked away, took it. But in the evaluation process, like you're trying to get done, you're trying to get to the money, right? So I thought it was smart. Like, okay, I'm gonna bank $4,000 because that was my goal. Anything else, I'm gonna just keep playing and keep going. I got $4,000. Come back tomorrow, boom, boom, boom. I keep killing it, and I'll just keep doing the same thing. That was my thought process. But then I came back to the $4,000 and I blew the account. And I was like, what the heck? How did I blow the account? This is crazy. And realized about the trail stop. So make sure that you understand all of the rules and regulations, right? I say that to say, like, is it a scam? No, I don't think it's a scam. You can make money, you can get payouts, all of those good things, but it's not meant for you to be successful. Just so you understand that. And I think that people need to understand that, because some people get upset and feel bad, like, oh, this happened, that happened. It is not meant for you to be successful. Kudos if you are successful, for all the people that are, but it's not meant for you to be successful. It is meant for you to be in the cycle of resetting, starting over, paying monthly, having those monthly subscriptions, and continues to stay in that process, right? There's some people that stay in the process for 2-3 years. So I want you to think about that. So you're paying monthly, right? No telling how many resets you've had in that process as well too, and starting over. So you have to make sure before you start that you're ready, that you practice and that you build and that you have a system and you're risk reward, your risk management is properly, executing. Because for you to be successful in the system, it's not about jumping out and being a millionaire trader. You know what I mean? It's going to be someone that's base hitting. So whether, if you're in a 50K account, base hitting would be probably making $500-600 a day. That's probably, a good area for you to be in and be consistent and be thinking about. If you're in a 75K account, probably, 750, 800, it's probably a good space to be in. If you are 150K account, then probably being $1,000-1,500 a day is probably, a good sweet spot for you to shoot for and to be in and be successful. 200K account, that 2,000 range, 2,000, maybe 2,500, but staying in that sweet spot. It's not about keep going and trying to blow it up. And then for the 300K account, that 3K, that 3K a day mark, just consistently. Because one thing that I realized, because overtrading is a mother. Don't do it. Please don't. For me, anyways, I get in trouble when I overtrade. Why don't you, sit down and create the system of, okay, if you're trading ES, hey, what is a good amount of points that you can walk away from the ES if you get, right? I think when I started, for me, it was like 10 points. If I get 10 points out of ES, I'm shutting down, closing out for the day. I'm going to do something else. And that was, that was good. So, cause I might've got 10 points in ES, I might've got, 25 points in NQ, and then might've got 7 in gold. And I'm like, I'm good, right? I'm done. I try not to take no more than 5 trades. To me, at that point, I'm just overexposing myself into the market and it just gets hard. That's a mother. Like when you realize, not only that, the commissions is crazy. Y'all need to pay attention to that, because that gets tough when you're paying all those commissions and you thinking like, oh, I'm up, you overtraded. You're like, ooh, I'm up 3,500, and then you realize, oh wow, no, I'm at 2,700. Yeah, you're good, but all the commissions that you paid as well too, because you're trading so much, and then you're like, I've overexposed myself where I could have, walked away at where I actually had 3,200, right? So those are just things to really think about, man. It's all about perfecting your system. It is not a scam. You'll be good to go, if you actually have a system and you learn. And then another reason why it's not meant for you to me to be successful. Think about this, right? Think about this. If you're successful as a prop trader, eventually, what are you going to do? You're going to walk away. You're going to walk away and start your own thing. Once you built the capital to be comfortable on your own, you're not going to stay trading with them, right? You're going to take your money and roll out. So think about that. Like, they're not worried about people being successful. So if you are successful, kudos, right? But that's not what this is for. That is not what, because if that was the case, they would be tutoring you. They would be making sure that everyone has this great strategy. That's not what this is. This is an opportunity for the average person to trade. But also they set parameters and things in for you to fail. And so now you're staying with them and you're going to keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. And that's just what it's going to be until either you quit or you are absolutely successful. Point blank, period. So is it a scam? No, but it's definitely not meant for you to be successful either. So take it how you want to take it. You can make money, but it's just like trading. It's less than 1% that are successful on a long-term basis at prop firms. That's very low. Because like I said, they're not teaching you jack. You're on your own. So you have to do the research and you have to learn and you have to get with a group of people that'll help you and then come on over here to the prop firm side and then and start trading. I hope this helped. If y'all have any questions, make sure to, leave a comment below. Anything you want me to talk about, anything you want me to discuss, I'll definitely do it, and make sure to tell your people to come on over here, man. Come talk to us. We enjoy this. All right. Y'all take it easy. Make sure to clock them ticks. Risk reward. Always think here because it's a mental game.